Who were Los Pepes? A question that still sends ripples through the underworld of crime. Like a specter, their name haunts the annals of criminal history, a notorious group shrouded in mystery. Their operations, controversial and ruthless, have left an indelible mark on the face of crime. They were a force to be reckoned with, their reputation preceding them, their impact immeasurable. Buckle up as we delve into the chilling chronicles of Los Pepes. In the early 90s, a shadowy group emerged from the depths of Colombia's crime-ridden streets. The group was known as Los Pepes, an acronym that stood for Perseguidos por Pablo Escobar, or Persecuted by Pablo Escobar. This name alone gives us a glimpse into the group's origins and motivations. In the late 80s and early 90s, Colombia was in the throes of a brutal and bloody drug war. The notorious drug lord Pablo Escobar was at the helm, his ruthless reign causing untold devastation. It was against this backdrop that Los Pepes was formed. The group was comprised of individuals who had been personally wronged by Escobar. This included former members of the Medellin cartel, Escobar's rivals in the Cali cartel, and even law enforcement officials. Each member of Los Pepes had their own personal vendetta against Escobar, but they were united in their shared objective: to bring down the infamous kingpin. In the beginning, Los Pepes operated covertly, their actions as shadowy as their origins. They started by targeting Escobar's assets, systematically destroying his vast network of wealth and power. They hit him where it hurt, dismantling his empire piece by piece. But it wasn't just about financial ruin. Los Pepes also sought to hit Escobar on a deeply personal level. They targeted those close to him, causing him to experience the same loss and anguish that he had inflicted on so many others. Their tactics were brutal, their methods ruthless. But in their minds, the ends justified the means. They saw themselves as vigilantes, fighting fire with fire in a desperate bid to rid Colombia of Escobar's tyranny. Yet, their motivations were not purely altruistic. Los Pepes also sought power and control. They saw an opportunity to fill the vacuum that would be left by Escobar's downfall. As their operations escalated, so did their infamy. Los Pepes quickly became a force to be reckoned with, their name synonymous with a dark and bloody chapter in Colombia's history. And as we'll see in the next scene, their reign was as controversial as it was consequential. In their prime, Los Pepes were unstoppable. Their reign was both feared and revered. At the zenith of their power, Los Pepes commanded the underbelly of the Colombian crime scene like no other. Their operations were far-reaching, their influence pervasive. They were the puppet masters, pulling strings in the shadows, shaping the contours of Colombia's criminal landscape. The group was notoriously known for their ruthless tactics to tackle their rivals. They didn't merely engage in petty squabbles or territorial disputes. Los Pepes waged full-scale wars. The streets of Colombia became their personal chessboard, and they played with a brutal and calculated precision that left many in awe and fear. Their most significant operations were not merely acts of wanton violence, but strategic moves designed to cripple their enemies and consolidate their power. They targeted the key members of rival cartels, sabotaging their operations and systematically dismantling their networks. Their audacious attacks were akin to a lion taking down its prey, swift, brutal, and leaving no room for retaliation. Their impact on the Colombian crime scene was profound. They didn't just change the game, they rewrote the rules. Their reign saw a shift in power dynamics, a reshuffling of alliances. They forced their adversaries to rethink their strategies, to adapt or perish. But beyond the fear and the chaos, Los Pepes also brought a sense of order. Their reign was a paradoxical blend of anarchy and stability. They controlled the chaos, dictated the mayhem. It was a reign of terror, yes, but also one of control and predictability. For some, it was even a reign of hope, a sign that even the darkest corners could be tamed. Yet their reign was not without its consequences. Their brutal tactics and relentless thirst for power sparked a wave of violence that swept across Colombia, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. But as they say, every reign has its end. The fall of Los Pepes was as dramatic as their rise. The once feared and revered group found themselves spiraling into a pit from which there was no escape. Their descent was not sudden, but a gradual process that was fueled by a myriad of factors. One of the key elements that precipitated the downfall of Los Pepes was the internal power struggle. As the organization grew in strength and influence, so did the egos of its members. The unity that once held them together began to crumble under the weight of their own success. Disputes over control and decision-making, led to tension and distrust, causing a rift within the group that ultimately weakened their standing. The second major blow to Los Pepes was the mounting pressure from law enforcement and government agencies. The group had always operated under the radar, but as their notoriety grew, so did the scrutiny. High-profile incidents and increased violence drew the attention of authorities both locally and internationally. The once untouchable group found itself in the crosshairs of a relentless pursuit for justice. Finally, the public sentiment towards Los Pepes began to shift. Initially, many viewed them as vigilantes, a necessary evil in the fight against drug cartels. However, as the group's actions became increasingly ruthless and indiscriminate, they lost the tacit support they once enjoyed. The very people they claimed to protect turned against them, further isolating the group and hastening their demise. With their ranks divided, the law closing in, and public support dwindling, Los Pepes eventually disbanded. The once formidable group was reduced to a shadow of its former self, its members either in hiding, in jail, or in graves. The streets they once ruled with an iron fist were now out of their grasp. And thus, the era of Los Pepes came to a close. The echoes of their reign still reverberate in the annals of history, a chilling reminder of a time when fear and violence held sway. Their downfall serves as a stark lesson that power built on a foundation of brutality and lawlessness is, ultimately, ephemeral and self-destructive. Despite their downfall, Los Pepes left a lasting legacy. Their story is one etched in the annals of crime history, a tale of vengeance and rebellion that still resonates today. The legacy of Los Pepes is multifaceted, a complex puzzle of influence, impact, and infamy. Los Pepes didn't just come and go, they left a blueprint, a template of sorts for future crime groups. Their unique blend of vigilante justice and organized crime was something new, something different. It was a model that showed how even the most powerful criminal empires like that of Pablo Escobar could be toppled. And this model, this path of resistance, was quickly adopted by other crime groups worldwide. They saw that they could fight back, that they could take matters into their own hands. This influence on modern crime groups is perhaps the most tangible aspect of Los Pepes' legacy. But it's not the whole story. There's more to their legacy than just their tactics. Los Pepes also left a significant mark on crime history. They became a symbol, an embodiment of the struggle against criminal tyranny. Their name, their actions, their very existence served as a stark reminder that no one is untouchable, that even the most formidable of crime lords can fall. But while Los Pepes did contribute to the downfall of one of the world's most notorious drug lords, they themselves were not exactly heroes. They were a crime group after all. Their methods were brutal, their tactics ruthless. They may have been fighting against a criminal, but they were criminals themselves. And this side of their legacy, this darker side, is something that cannot be ignored. Los Pepes, a group born out of desperation, out of a need for justice, left behind a legacy that is as controversial as it is impactful. They changed the game, they disrupted the status quo, and in doing so, they carved out their place in crime history. Los Pepes, a name that still echoes in the underworld. The tale of Los Pepes is a reminder of a darker time, a time when crime and justice danced a deadly tango, a time when a group, born out of desperation and a thirst for retribution, took law into their own hands. We've journeyed through the enigma of Los Pepes, tracing their genesis to the reign, the eventual downfall, and the legacy they left behind. The question remains, were they vigilantes or villains? This group, Los Pepes, fought fire with fire, and in doing so, they blurred the line between justice and vengeance. They emerged as the nemesis of Pablo Escobar, an infamous drug lord, but their methods were just as brutal, if not more. They became the mirror image of what they fought against. The moral implications of their actions are profound and spark debates to this day. Los Pepes' actions had a significant impact on society. They made people question the effectiveness of traditional law enforcement and the lengths one should go to bring about justice. Their story is a stark reminder of the chaos that can ensue when justice is privatized, and the rules of law are disregarded. It's a tale of an era where the line between heroes and villains was not just blurred, but almost erased. A tale that forces us to reflect on the nature of justice and the price society pays for it. What are your thoughts on Los Pepes? Comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more intriguing stories from the underworld.